everyone, I hope you're all doing really well. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a first impressions on this foundation right here. This is a foundation that I've had kind of on the back of my mind in my wish list for quite some time. This is the UOMA Beauty Say What foundation. I have heard amazing things about this formula, and although I do feel like I'm kind of moving towards more like tinted moisturizers and BB creams, just lighter coverage foundation, this just sounds like the perfect foundation in my opinion, and it seems to work for so many different people. So when Look Fantastic reached out to me and asked if I wanted to choose some products from off their website, of course this was something that I absolutely had to test out. I have tried some other UOMA Beauty products, thankfully, through Look Fantastic as well, and I regret not picking this up in the past. So I'm really looking forward to testing this out and sharing with you my thoughts throughout this first impressions. Of course, I do want to come back and also do like a review roundup in the future. I also was sent this the Double Take contour stick. This has a highlight and contour, and I'm going to test this out today as well with you so that we can really see how these products perform together and kind of my thoughts on the application. So why don't we just hop on into it? And here's what the foundation looks like. This is the bottle. It is a glass base with a pump. It is just like a standard foundation kind of packaging, but it does feel very luxe, very weighted, and it does feel like, yeah, just very nice and quality for sure. I haven't yet opened it or pumped it at all. I'm really excited to try it out, but I do want to just talk about the product itself. So this comes in 51 shades, which is just so impeccable in my opinion. I am just so impressed by that. I absolutely love seeing brands come out with actual shade ranges that will encompass all people, or most people for sure. The shade that I selected is Fair Lady T2W, which is a warm undertone. They do offer neutral, warm, and cool undertones. This does look very warm in my opinion, quite yellow. I may have been able to go down a shade, but we'll see. We'll see what happens when I actually apply it to the skin, because it's very hard to know what it's going to look like in the frosted glass. I'm super excited though, so let's just get on into it. Like I don't even know, I can't contain the excitement I have for this because I've been wanting this foundation for quite some time. So I did also receive a EcoTools Total Perfecting Blender Sponge. This is my go-to, my absolute favorite sponge, and I did need to kind of restock on it. So Look Fantastic did send this my way to test out the foundation with. I also recently placed, well, it wasn't recently, back at the beginning of December, I placed an order with Makeup Geek, and I ordered this. This is the angled stippling brush. I haven't yet tried it out. I washed it for the first time actually yesterday, so I can give it a test, and I'm going to do an application with the sponge on one half of my face and the brush on the other half of the face to see what kind of coverage I can get, what kind of look I can get, as well as how it actually physically applies. So as you can see, I do have a little bit of acne scars here on my face, as well as some darkness under my eyes. My complexion isn't by any means nice and smooth and even. I am a little bit weary because of that vibrant matte sort of claim, so I do want to just prime my skin with this. I know that this always works for me with like literally any base that I own. This is the Henriksen Banana Bright Face Primer. It's not super hydrating, but it does offer a tiny bit of hydration. And this just really makes my skin look nice and smooth and balanced, and it just preps everything really well without being too heavy. I did do my skincare probably like a half an hour or more ago, so it's been quite some time that that's been sinking in, but the skincare products that I use today are things that I use with every single base, and I've never had any sort of issue with them. Oh, I love this primer so much. It just sinks into the skin like almost instantly, and it gives me this glow. Yeah, it's so good. That's not what we're here for, but I do think that it needs a moment to shine because it is a really good product. But why don't we hop on into the foundation? I think what I'm gonna do is do the side with the brush first, and I think I'll do this side with the brush. So let's see what this is like. I haven't pumped it yet, as I said. Oh, it's a little liquidy. Okay, I'm gonna shake this. Oh, it's really liquidy. Okay, maybe it just is liquidy. Okay, woo, That was not what I was expecting. I thought it was going to be more like a cream. So I'm just going to apply it with my fingers. I tend to do this with all foundations. I kind of create like a small, not small, a thin veil layer across my face, and then I will blend it in. I'm going to use that Makeup Geek brush to blend it into the skin. I'm going to try to keep it just on this side. Ooh, it smells good. It kind of has like a candied scent, or is that this? So I'm going to really just try to keep it on this half of my face. Actually, this color is really nice. And it's blending so effortlessly. Just like that, it's blended into my face. What the heck? Instantly. It does have like a candied smell. I don't think that's the primer. I just grabbed a little bit off the back of my hand and I kind of stippled it in on around my cheek. Wow. I cannot believe this. Oh my God, that looks so good. And I'm surprised by how good it looks with a brush, because I tend to find with brushes things get very streaky, but because this is such a thin formula, it just effortlessly blended into the skin. That is so cool. And just for a little comparison before we do the side with the sponge, this is what it looks like right now. You can see it's like bouncing back the light a little bit. It offers a tiny bit of glow. I haven't done anything to like set it down in any capacity, but even under my eyes, it's brightened up so much, and it's covered up all my spots and my pigmentation, my like scarring. Wow, that is beautiful. That is so beautiful. And it looks truly like skin. Like, this does not look like cakey foundation. Like around my nose, I tend to have some issues, so I'm just gonna pat it out around there. Holy heck. Okay, we're gonna try this out with the sponge next. Now I'm gonna take another pump. Yeah, this is so thin. As you can see, it's just running down my hand. I did not expect that when it comes to like a full coverage claim. I was expecting it to be a much thicker. I'm just going to bounce the sponge onto it and see how that applies with the sponge. Actually, the sponge seems to have soaked it up quite a lot, but it is applying quite nicely. I have to take like a small little quarter pump and just apply a little bit to my forehead with my fingers, and then try to blend that out with the sponge and see what I get for coverage like that. This may have a tiny bit of product still left on it too. It blends literally effortlessly. What the heck? Like, it's already just become my skin. I'm just gonna grab a little bit more on the sponge and just kind of bring it down my neck a little bit. So I'm kind of taken aback. This looks really good, really good. Like, I was expecting it to be a nice foundation, don't get me wrong, but I did not really know what I was getting into with this, and this looks amazing. So I am going to conceal under my eyes before we use the double take highlight and contour. So here is a bit of a close-up with the exposure turned right down so you can really see. Like, you can see I do have a little bit of texture here and a little bit of pigmentation, so you can see that in the like lower light and the more natural sort of lighting. But as a whole, it really does look very uniform. It's really bouncing the light beautifully, and I don't see a major difference between the two sides applied with a brush or applied with the sponge. Honestly, I freaking adore this. I love the way that this is looking. Like, I love the way this is looking. And now that we're this far into this look, I am honestly so excited to try out the double take highlight and contour stick. I have heard amazing things about this product, and although I really don't need any more cream-based products in my life, this is something that I have been genuinely so curious about, and I thought maybe it will take my contouring game to another level. It'll actually give me an opportunity to be able to contour. So let's try this out. This does look quite deep and maybe a bit more neutral to warm than I would generally go for when it comes to a contour, but that may be also beneficial to me because it might look a little bit more natural. And then the highlighter shade, this is a beautiful light gold kind of color. Look how pristine this looks. And I think I forgot to mention that this is the Fair Lady version of this. So I do have a little bit of hesitation of going in directly from the applicator. So I just drew a little bit of it on the back of my hand where I didn't have any foundation left on my hand. And I'm going to kind of work it into a stippling brush. This one's by Colourpop. I'm gonna kind of just work it in and apply it to my face that way. And then I'll try just doing it straight from the actual product itself. So I'm gonna take it kind of under my cheekbone here. We'll buff, we'll buff, we'll buff. I'm gonna treat this more like a bronzer, like how I would a cream bronzer, because this shade, in my opinion, doesn't look like the best contouring kind of color for me. And now it just looks like it's perfect skin. I'm adding just a touch more. I'm just gonna stipple it on top. Just gonna try to pick up as much of the remaining product as possible and really work it on there. Okay, so for the other side, I'm gonna just draw it right on and then I'll use the sponge to kind of blend it out. I'm a little weary, but that did blend really nicely. So I'm gonna start very lightly. Oh, I never put cream products directly onto my face like that. But we'll see with the sponge how it functions. It's already blending out so well. I was not expecting this to make my skin look so smooth. My skin, well, the foundation underneath of this is just looking even more smooth than it did with just the foundation. And it's blending so easily. Like, I'm not putting a ton of pressure, I'm just bouncing the sponge, and it just is amazing. This is so cool. This is so good. So I loved it both ways also. These products seem to be very, very versatile. So what I did on this side with the stippling brush, I think you could do that if you are a little bit more hesitant that you might go heavy-handed, but I did this one with just a very small amount of product and it blended out so effortlessly. This might be the route to go if you don't want to end up with like a mess on the back of your hand like I did. It might be the way that I end up using this for the future. I cannot believe this though. I cannot believe this. So let's try out the highlighter too. I'm imagining it's gonna be stellar. It's gonna be amazing. Maybe I'll draw it on this side. And then I'm just gonna use the sponge to kind of blend that out. That's very soft. It's a very, very subtle highlight, except when the light hits it. Wow. And then with the other side, I'm just gonna use my ring finger. That's probably how I'll use it more often anyways. That way I can really be targeted and kind of meld it into the foundation instead of trying to pick up any of the base. It does look very subtle, like there is absolutely no glitter or shimmer in it from what I can see. But when the light hits it, it just is like dew. I am thoroughly freaking impressed with these so far. Look at that. Look at that bounce. Like, that's stunning. I am so overjoyed. I'm gonna go finish the rest of my face and I will be right back to share with you how I felt about the full face application after the fact. But yeah, this looks so good right now. All right, so I just went and did my makeup and obviously I blow dried and did my hair as well. So it's been about an hour since I sat down and put on the foundation and I wanted to give myself a little bit of time before I came back to just share with you my wrap up of thoughts. But products just blended so effortlessly over this foundation. The only powder product that I have on is I have a little bit of setting powder underneath my eyes, and then I used my e.l.f. Illuminating Palette to kind of just set down the highlight and the contour, but I don't have any other powder products on my face. I do have a little bit of my Colourpop Lux Lipstick in the shade Tiptoe, the one that I'm working on in my Partners in Cream, as a cream blush, and it just sat down so effortlessly, so perfectly on top of that foundation. It didn't lift at all. The foundation like almost set into place by the time I went and put that on. And yeah, everything just, it works so well. And now that it's been, yeah, about an hour since I applied the actual foundation, I can see that it's really letting a little bit of shine come through. It's melding into my skin, but it's not emphasizing my lines on my forehead. I mean, you can see they're there because they are there, but even like my smile lines, like I feel like the foundation is kind of settling a little bit, but not in a way that's emphasized. And of course, I need to put this to the test a little bit more, so I will come back. I want to do a like review roundup with the products that I did receive from Look Fantastic, as well as other products that I've been trying out recently. Obviously, I am currently on a no-buy, so I don't have a ton of products that have made their way into my life recently, but I do want to make a priority to come back and really share with you how I'm feeling about this product in a few weeks or about a month's time. It is so nice though. So nice. I'm super, super impressed with it right now. I love it. Like, I feel like it looks like my skin. It just, I don't know how else to describe it. Like, it just literally looks like it's my skin. I cannot wait to play with this more. It isn't what I was expecting it to be. I've only heard amazing things, and yet I didn't really expect it to be what it turned out to be. Like, the consistency is much more liquidy. The look on the skin is very, very, very lightweight, and yet still covers. Like, it is kind of magical. And I'm so happy that I finally had an opportunity to test this foundation out. I want to let you know that, of course, I can't really recommend it at this point, but based on first impression, I am very happy with it, and I'm really looking forward to testing it out more. And of course, if you want to purchase this product or any of the other products that I have previously featured from Look Fantastic, I do have a discount code with them. Of course, it's totally up to your discretion if you want to purchase through them or through that code, but there will be a link in my description box so you can shop through Look Fantastic, as well as the code is Rebecca22 if you want to get 22% off of a huge selection of items. Not everything on the site is on sale or available for that code, but 22% off of a good selection of items, and they do carry some really interesting stuff. Like, I'm really happy to see that UOMA Beauty is available on Look Fantastic, because it is kind of hard to get your hands on here in Canada. The shipping from their website is very expensive, so this was great. This was awesome. I'm so excited and really happy to have this in my collection. I know I said I didn't need any more foundations, but this might be like the kind of foundation that you only need. Like you don't need any other foundations, because this just looks so effortless and so skin-like. It looks so good. And the light is starting to encroach on me, so I gotta wrap this up. But yeah, thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.